warm welcome to you. Many thanks for finding time to be with us on the program this week. We remain your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Lucille Lube. You are welcome. On our lineup this week, first we join Faith and our guest, Mr. Tope Smart, on the CEO Rendezvous for the exclusive session where they examined how the AIO is navigating uncertainties in the midst of a global pandemic that has crippled the activities of the organization. Speaking during the interview on preparations for the 47th AIO Conference and General Assembly holding in September here in Lagos, Mr. Smart said that they are collaborating with the health authorities to ensure a successful and safe conference. Take a listen.
But we are equally collaborating with the health authorities in Nigeria, to ensure that at least we have a very good program, taking into consideration this health risk. So we are working hard to make sure that we strike a balance, and ensure that at least we protect lives, particularly people that will come physically to attend the conference.
We will also bring you highlights from the maiden edition of the secondary schools quiz competition organized by the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, at the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, University of Lagos. The quiz competition, which is aimed at exposing students to career opportunities that exist in the insurance industry, was well attended with 5 schools participating. In his welcome address, the President and Chairman of Council of the Institute, Sir M.O. Oyegule, said that part of the initiative is to promote the significance of insurance in the society. Take a listen.
This initiative is also aimed at promoting the significance of insurance in our daily lives, community development, poverty elimination, economic advancement, and world peace. Insurance ensures that we have adequate safety nets against the misfortunes of life by providing compensation for its customers that enable them to survive the adversities of life. Hence, insurance provides us with a means of protecting ourselves and our families from unexpected but possible financial losses, while also enhancing the capacity to build wealth.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on the show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the time. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
What takes your anxiety away?
Access to medical care without financial constraint.
Assurance of a cover for my car and I.
Keeping my family protected despite my low income.
Knowing that my goods are secured while in transit.
Not having to worry about the pain and the bills at the same time.
Having my investment secured.
No matter what safety means to you, we provide you with a covering to keep you and all that matters to you safe.
Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC. Anxiety away. Value assured.
A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the CEO Rendezvous this week. On the Rendezvous this week, I have the pleasure to be hosting the Vice President of the African Insurance Organization, who also doubles as the Group Managing Director of NEM Insurance PLC, one of the leading insurance companies in Nigeria. I'm talking about no other than Mr. Tokwe Smart, who is my guest on the program. Today, we'll be looking at the African Insurance Organization navigating uncertainties in a pandemic. Thank you so very much, sir, for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Faith.
Okay, sir, it's not out of place to say that the AIO is among one of the organizations globally that the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the most by way of disruption. No one feels it more than those in leadership position, such as the AIO. So my question is, what was the experience really like for you as a vice president of the organization, especially last year at the peak of the pandemic?
Thank you very much, Faith. Just like you rightly said, the pandemic disrupted so many things all over the world. And for us at the leadership position of AIO, we were unable to organize most of our programs, virtually all our programs. The few ones we organize them virtually. And you agree with me, being someone who is quite familiar with AIO events, that one of the high points of AIO events is the issue of networking, and then the spirit of camaraderie that pervades the atmosphere anytime we have the AIO event. So we couldn't organize such programs, and of course, as a result of that, so many of these events, were either cancelled or suspended. Okay. So that's the issue.
Okay, sir. Speaking of which, what was the biggest challenge for the leadership of the AIO coming to some of the painful but needed decisions, especially last year, as regards cancellation of some of the major events? What was the major challenge coming to that painful decision?
Well, quite a number of challenges. One, we normally leverage on these events to educate our members, talk to them about current activities and all the issues, topical issues, that people should really embrace. So because of the pandemic, we couldn't do that. Secondly, the issue of funding too, it's a major challenge. Number one, two major sources of income for AIO. One, membership subscription, and then the second one, income from activities organized by AIO. And because we couldn't organize some of these activities, of course, we don't get that kind of income. So that has been a major challenge too for us.
Okay, sir. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated a number of existing challenges in the insurance sector on the continent. Chief of them is the lack of digitization, with many insurers' operations heavily constrained as a result of the pandemic. Now, the question is there a way the AIO can fast-track existing plans of adoption of digitalization, especially in the insurance sector, when it comes to the entire continent?
We are trying to educate our members. Just like you rightly mentioned, in Africa, insurance companies have been quite slow in embracing technology. But the pandemic actually made it imperative, particularly with the attendant lockdowns all over the place, for companies to embrace technology. As a matter of fact, many of the companies that didn't adopt digitalization, they found it extremely difficult, to operate, particularly during the period of the lockdowns and all of that. So one of the things we are telling all our members and across Africa is for all companies, to digitalize their operations so that they will not be affected.
A lot of people, when you talk about digitalization, when the issue of digitalization comes, one of the things that readily pops up is, it's expensive, it's capital intensive. But as someone in the leadership of the AIO, how do you think that companies on the continent can actually adapt or digitalize their operations without having to be overburdened with the cost of digitalization?
Well, you have to look at it from a number of angles. Number one, if you want to remain relevant, then there is no way you will not go the way of digitalization. So, if you want to remain relevant, you want to continue to service your clients, you want to add value, to all your stakeholders, then you have to digitalize. So, my advice is people should invest in technology. If you don't have the necessary capital, then raise capital. It is capital intensive, just like you mentioned. I agree, but it is the way to go. There is no alternative to technology. I know that so many companies who did not adopt digitalization during, particularly the period of lockdown, they suffered a lot. They lost a lot, And so the way forward is for everybody to just embrace it and say that is the way to go.
Okay, sir. Now let's come back to, I know you mentioned it a little bit. Another key function of the AIO is membership drive. How has the pandemic affected that? And going forward from the pandemic, what is the leadership looking at, or what aspects are they looking at to also drive membership of the organization?
Well, we are doing a lot at the ESCO level, try to reach out to all our members all over the place and to equally attract new members. Well, the pandemic affected organizations, companies, and all our members too. And so many people, experienced a kind of downturn. Income came down, and so many of them actually struggled to pay their subscription fees. But we try to encourage them that if they are unable to pay, they can spread it, over a period of time to encourage them, so that at least they want to keep them. We don't want difficult times, to push them away from
the organization.
From AIO. Okay. So we want them, and we are trying to work with them so that we can equally support them in any way, so that at least they will continue to maintain their membership of the AIO, as well as we are equally, trying to attract new members from all over the place to join us.
Okay, sir, let's come to some cherry news. The 47th AIO Conference and General Assembly, with God's willing, hold in Lagos, Nigeria, from the 4th to 8th of September. First, because as a result of the pandemic, this was cancelled last year, but I just want to first ask, what led to the decision of the leadership to forge ahead with the conference this year?
Okay, well, this conference was scheduled to hold last year, and then because of the pandemic, it was postponed. Initially, we postponed it to this year, May this year, but because of the cloudy nature of the environment, we decided to equally postpone it to hold now in September. And it's going to be a hybrid model, and we are expecting participants, some participants, to come physically, while others will join us online.
So has the response been so far since the announcement came from the ESCO?
Oh, people have been excited. People have been excited. Don't forget that people come from all over the place to attend the AI conference. People come from the US, come from UK, the Asian countries, and all of that. People come from all over the place to attend. So the excitement has been quite high. And like I mentioned, people really miss out the issue of the networking, which is the high point of the AIO events. So they're actually looking forward to this conference.
Okay, sir, but you still hear, of course, recently we started hearing about the India variant, the fourth wave and all of that. So, but you still find that a lot of people are still very edgy when it comes to traveling, especially from their countries to other places. So my question is, what is the leadership of the AIO doing to ensure that people who are actually eager or interested in coming to attend in person feel safe and secure to leave their comfort zone to come and participate in the conference?
Okay, I think one of the things that has really helped us so far is the issue of the vaccination. So many people have already taken the first dose, a number of people who are equally taking the second, So those ones, they are quite eager, to come and attend the conference. For others who probably have not even, taken their jabs, many of them are very cautious, just like you mentioned. But we are equally collaborating with the health authorities in Nigeria, to ensure that at least we have a very good program, taking into consideration this health risk, So we are working hard to make sure that we strike a balance, and ensure that at least we protect lives, particularly people that will come physically to attend the conference.
Okay, sir, you know that the AIO as a continental body often have the ears of government, especially the host country of the annual conference and general assembly. So now that the decision is made, I just want to ask, what is the response of the Nigerian government so far, as well as the host markets and other member countries?
Okay, all the stakeholders are actually working hard. We are working with the government. Don't forget that we have the local organizing committee, and they are working very, very hard, and equally collaborating with all the various other stakeholders, the health authorities, the federal government itself. We are working together to ensure that at least we have a very good conference. As a matter of fact, we are working on delivering the best conference so far, irrespective of the pandemic. That's what we are working on.
The second thing I'd like you to consider and debate is the role of the telecoms industry in facilitating the growth of mobile payments. We must come up with a win-win solution that enables the banking industry, the telecoms industry, to work side by side to grow a successful mobile payment industry that is the envy of other nations. And the third and final thing I want to ask you to think about over the next few days is e-commerce. A mobile payment system is useful when there are things to buy. And right now, our e-commerce system industry is one of the fastest growing in the world. We're looking at an industry that will be about a $10 billion industry within the next 2 to 3 years. However, even at $10 billion, we're just scratching the surface. And what is really going to drive this industry is the capacity for the low-income Nigerians to make payments on this infrastructure at little or no cost.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we now bring you highlights from the CIIN Maiden Secondary Schools quiz competition that took place recently at the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, University of Lagos. At the end of the keenly contested competition, Baptist Girls Academy emerged the winner. Happy viewing.
The Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, is charged with the responsibility of determining the standards of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become registered members of the insurance profession in Nigeria. In their continuous drive to get young people to choose insurance as a career path, the Institute recently put together the maiden edition of its secondary schools quiz competition at the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, University of Lagos. Welcoming participants to the occasion, the President and Chairman of Council of the Institute, Sir M.O. Oyegule, said that the initiative is aimed at promoting daily lives and poverty reduction.
This initiative is also aimed at promoting the significance of insurance in our daily lives, community development, poverty elimination, economic advancement, and world peace. Insurance ensures that we have adequate safety nets against the misfortunes of life by providing compensation for its customers that enable them to survive the adversities of life. Hence, insurance provides us with a means of protecting ourselves and our families from unexpected but possible financial losses, while also enhancing the capacity to build wealth. This competition is designed to create awareness amongst you, the young adults, who we consider the future of our industry, about the importance of insurance as a service and as a career opportunities it offers to students like you. It is my belief that whatever we have learned in preparation for the competition shall impact your lives positively.
The 5 participating schools at the maiden edition were Gideon International School, Baptist Boys Academy, International School, University of Lagos, Baptist Girls Academy, and Regan Memorial Girls. Kickstarting a quiz competition, as expected, was for the quiz master to lay the ground rules.
For each question, we have 5 marks, and we have 3 marks for as bonus mark. When we ask a candidate representing a school, if he's unable to answer, I think we throw it out back to the school to answer. So given the time frame, if they are not able to answer, another school will answer. If the school we point out answer the question very well, they will get a bonus of 3 marks. We have a set of questions, and for each question you have just 1 minute. We will time you. When the 1 minute elapses, so we'll give another person opportunity or another school opportunity to answer.
The students came prepared, answering some of the most difficult insurance questions that were tasked certified insurance professionals.
Baptist Boys Academy.
Number 5.
Question 5. Shall we? Okay. Fundamental risks are generally considered uninsurable, but few of them may be insurable. These days, under what condition? A, additional money. B, additional price. C, additional premium. D, additional contribution.
C, additional premium.
Correct.
Okay, Regan girls, you have to pick your questions.
Number 2.
2. Okay, please listen attentively. Risk can vary in terms of both A, certainty and degree of risk, certainty and possibility of loss, pure and speculative risk, numbers of times of occurrence and exposure level.
A, uncertainty and degrees of risk.
Wrong. Any bonus for A? D, correct.
At the end of a keenly contested competition, Baptist Girls Academy came first, Regan Memorial Girls second, and International School Unilag came third. To encourage the students, the CIIN also gave the winners personal gifts as study gifts for their schools. The event also afforded the institute to explain some of the career paths that exist in the insurance industry.
In this digital age, what is the risk that you are likely to lose your job as an insurance person, because most processes are getting automated?
Thank you very much for that question. And I'll answer it in this way. Life itself is a risk. You wake up in the morning, you're going out, there's a risk that, oh, I may not come back home. So because that risk is there, you will not say, oh, because there's a risk I may not come back home, I won't go out today, I won't go to school, I won't do WAEC, I won't do this. So the same thing with all profession, not just insurance. All profession, everything is changing rapidly. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. But because we're human beings and we're governed by a higher rule of life, that is the spiritual, you just go out with faith and you give your best. You make sure you enjoy what you're doing, like Ajibola said. You give it your best because nobody knows tomorrow, but the today that we have, let's make the use of it. Give it your best shot, and then you hope for the best that God, I will be alive, I will not lose my job. But when the job is eventually lost, that's the beauty of insurance.
or any other cause. One, you have a policy you can fall back on, we call it the loss of job cover, that would keep you going till you get another job. When you get another job, you have things to do. But let's even say that a job, if a job paying and a salary paying job does not come, you can actually do things on your own by selling policies to other people and earn an income, provided you are a professional. So that's the beauty, one of the beauties of insurance, that you can always have something to fall back on. Insurance is the backbone of the economy.
The maiden edition of the secondary school's quiz competition of the CIIN was a huge success. It is hoped that the institute will improve on its subsequent editions and take it to other parts of the country and gradually build it to a national quiz competition.
That's our time on the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Join us again, same time, same station next week. In the meantime, feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. Don't forget to keep your date with us on our flagship radio program, Waiting Insurance They Do Safe, on Nigeria FM 102.7, live every Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. My name is Lucy Ulugbe. Until next time, from the entire team, it's goodbye. And please stay safe.